Marshall knew that when he was younger, he wanted to be a rescue pup. He heard stories about how his parents always saved lives when they were top fire pups back in the old days. When he met Ryder and the other pups of the Paw Patrol, it seemed like a chance to follow his parents' paws and be a great fire pup as well. Marshall was proud of his accomplishments, but today wasn't one of those days. It's actually one of his really bad, clausy days. Already, he broke a farm of apples, caused a mirror get into the accident, and maybe peed in the bush that was home to an angry wet squirrel. On his way home to the lookout, he felt like a cloud was hanging over his head and ready to pour. I can't do anything right. Seriously, all have I done today is miss everyone's day. Hey, Marshall, cried Azuma as he turned around and saw him alongside Chase, Sky, and Rocky by a volleyball net. Want to play some volleyball, dude? He kicked the ball over to Marshall, who stopped and stared at it. As much as he loved to play, he didn't think he had a bad luck streak was going to help. I don't know. Come on, said Rocky, kicking his tail. Just pass the ball. Marshall smirked and nodded. Okay, check this out. He knocked the ball into the air with his nose and jumped for a spike. Closing his eyes, he brought his paw down as hard as he could, and he heard a sound something crashing, which made his heart sink. Uh-oh. Opening his eyes as he landed, he saw that all four of his friends were wrapping the net and hanging in the air. Marshall gave a nervous smile and stepped back as his friends glared at him. Nice spike, muttered Chase before the ball came down and hit him on the head, bringing the floor down with a crash. Marshall quickly stopped the ball from leaving the area before turning to the others who were helping each other out. Sorry about that, guys. Want me to help you out? No! They shouted, making him step back. Chase sighed. I think you've done enough for one day, Marshall. Okay. Sorry, whispered the Dalmatian, whimpering. The others looked at each other with less angry explanations, but before anyone could do anything, Robert watched out of the lookout. Guys, the new Apollo the Super Pup cartoon is on. This instantly brought a cheer to all the pups, and they barked with joy. Each of them made their way towards the lookout, but before Marshall could enter, Rocky stopped him with his paw. Hey, you made the mess. You gotta clean it up. He pointed to the volleyball equipment. Marshall nodded in understanding and walked towards the mess. He first gathered the poles, decided to bring them in first, and bring them inside first, and took them with his mouth. Just as he was about to turn and put them in the shed, he suddenly found his paw on the volleyball and rolled over. Whoa! He shouted. The ball rolling under his feet, he began to spin all roll around. The poles in his mouth were starting to come loose as he tried to gain a sense of balance. He found himself rolling to the living room from outside the door where the other pups were laughing at the cartoon on the big screen. Marshall tried to give off a warning, but he finally lost his balance and fell forward with a big crash. Even worse, the poles flew straight out of his mouth and towards his friends. Look out! The pups turned around and gasped before ducking as the poles sailed over them. Marshall sighed in relief upon seeing his friends unhurt, but gasped when the pole smashed into the TV, breaking it and turning the cartoon off for static. Everyone got up and gasped in horror upon seeing their TV ruined, but then that quickly changed into rage when they glared at Marshall was doing the best look like his face looked like an invisible mouse. Cowering before his friends, Marshall knew he screwed up big time, and unlike his previous mistakes, this one he couldn't counter with a joke. Sorry, he whimpered. Sorry? Sorry? Shouted Chase, growling at the fire pup. All you ever do is say sorry. You could have hurt us with your clumsy attitude. Even worse, you broke the TV. Can't you do anything right, Marshall? Now, we'll never see how Apollo saves the day, shouted Wobble, who looked more disappointed than anything. None was more of a fan of a super dog than him. He growled a whale feat for the urgently kind and gentle bulldog. Why can't you just be like the rest of us and not mess things up? I didn't mean to, muttered Marshall, tears appearing in his eyes. Doesn't matter. Every day, every time, you always screw things up. I don't even know why you're in Paw Patrol. If you all you do make disasters all the time, screamed Sky, getting a nod of approval from the others. Seriously, dude, this is just not cool, said Zuma, shaking his head before turning away. Maybe you should go manage someone else's fun, muttered Walkie before following Zuma. The rest followed suit, with the last being Chase, who Marshall couldn't believe was even doing this. They had been best friends since they first met, and was the only who Marshall cared about the most. Chase, do you really see me like that? Marshall, sometimes you really are annoying, said Chase, shaking his head. That was too much for Marshall. He just started crying and ran out of the lookout as fast as he could. Chase rose when he saw this and was about to call out his name, but stopped and shook his head. Maybe he finally stopped being so clumsy. Still, a part of Chase wondered if he went too far. Hidden in his doghouse, Marshall never cried as hard as he did in his life until now. Hugging his pillow, he continued to sob into as he felt his heart shattered into pieces. His own friends, the pups he worked and played for years, hated him. Having such awful things his so-called friends had said about him, he could still hear him in his head. Even Chase, who's like a brother to him, called him annoyance. They hate him, all of them, and worst of all, they were right. How many times he bent claws and ruined their games of fun? How many times did he screw up a mission? He was a walking disaster, and it was better for everyone if he wasn't around. Removing his head from his tear-soaked pillow, he glanced at a photo of him and his parents, dressed in their firefowl gear. Who am I kidding? I'll never be I'll never be great as mom and dad. I shouldn't even be in Paw Patrol. Marshall stood up and walked outside where he saw Venture Bay, the town he had been his home for years. He had protected and helped so many people here, but it looked like it was all over now. If my friends don't want me, then maybe I should live somewhere else, away from Paw Patrol, someplace they'd never find me. He glanced over towards the nearby snowy mountains and come to realization. That's it! I just live up in the mountains. It's got snow, cute penguins. I can still help people by finding lost skills. Plus, Everett and Jake live nearby, and they don't hate me. Maybe I can convince them to keep my location a secret from the others. With his mind set, Marshall began packing for his new life. Dog treats? Check. Shoe toys? Check. Food and water bottles? Check. Blankets? Check. Winter gear? Check. My pup pack? Check. Looks like I got everything, thought Marshall as he wrapped them all up and put them in the trunk. Marshall donned his uniform and got in his fire truck and turned it on. He stopped himself from hitting the gas pedal and turned towards the tower for one last look. The lookout has been such a great place to live, and being part of Paw Patrol was some of the best times in his life. Ryder had been a great owner and the best big brother ever. Chase was his best friend and always looked after him. Everyone else was like a family to him, and he thought their days as friends would never end. Until now. So long, Paw Patrol, whimpered Marshall before he pressed the gas pedal and quietly left the lookout. Hours had passed since those spats with Marshall, and the other pups were bored out of their minds. They had told Waddle that the TV was broken, and he said he would get a new one. That still meant no Apollo or even Papa Boogie, nothing to be angry at Marshall about. Currently, they were each other doing their own thing and start off the boredom. Walkie was reading a book about Thomas Edison. Bubble and Zuma were napping under a tree. Chase was doing push-ups, and Sky was flickering a walk back and forth. So bored, whined Sky, when she rolled into her stomach and glanced at the sky. It looked like there wasn't going to be any bad weather, so it gave her an idea. I'm going to ask Myuu if I can fly today, she said as she got up and headed to the lookout. Okay, said Chase and Walkie while Zuma and Bubble just snored. While watching Sky leave, Chase stopped doing his push-ups and turned to Walkie. Hey Walkie, do you think we were a little harsh on Marshall? Walkie paused and turning the page before sighing. Maybe, but can you honestly tell me you haven't always wanted to yell at him for his mistakes? Chase still was silent, but Sky was telling him that something was wrong. He got up and scratched his legs. I'm going to talk to him. He didn't wait for a response. He just walked up to the other side of the lookout where Marshall's doghouse was. But when he arrived, he grounded to a halt at the sight of nothing. The fire truck was gone, as was Marshall. Marshall? Chase cried out, but there was no response. Instead, he tapped his communicator tag with Marshall. Hey Marshall, you there? No response. Marshall? When he got silenced the second time, Chase felt that void in his gut grows even more. Guess he's still mad at us. Or maybe Ryder has them doing something. He quickly called for his owner. Ryder was just about to finish the latest level of his Space Shooters video game when a call from Chase came in. Pausing, he accepted the message and saw Chase's face on his pup pad. Hey Chase, what's up? Ryder, sir. Have you seen Marshall? His truck is missing, and I can't find him, said Chase, looking around in worry. No, I haven't. I'll call him up and see where he is, answered Ryder as he turned off Chase and called for his spotted pup. A few seconds later, he saw Marshall driving his truck. Hello? Asked Marshall, a bit surprised and was a bit concerned. Hey Marshall, where are you? The pups are looking for you, said Ryder. Upon hearing this, Marshall closed his eyes before growling much to Ryder's surprise. Marshall? I don't care. Tell the other pups I'm done being a bothering to them, and they don't have to worry about me anymore. If I'm such an annoyance like they said, then I'm better off on my own. I'm done with them and Paw Patrol, answered Marshall, clearly trying to hide a tear dropping down his cheek. Ryder gasped as he held his pad with both hands. Dozens of questions entered Ryder's head, but the first thing to do was to calm Marshall down again and to explain. Marshall, you can't quit. The team needs you. Look, just come on home and we'll sort things out. Marshall shook his head. Sorry, Ryder, but I made out of my mind. I'm a lone pup now. I'm going to miss you. Thank you for taking care of me. Marshall out. For the last time. The communication was cut as Ryder stood there still in disbelief. He tried calling Marshall again and again, but nothing. Marshall had cut him off, as Ryder tried to think about what to do. Sky came on the elevator with a smile. Hey Ryder, I was wondering if I could go flying since it's a great day. What do you guys say to Marshall? Shouted Ryder, turning around with a furious scolding look. Sky gasped and whimpered upon hearing her owner's angry tone. Answer me, Sky, now! We're just angry that he messed up. TV, and we may have. Sky shivered until her eyes feeling fatted as Vital's glare got harsher and harsher. Told him he was burdened to the team and said he screwed up a lot on other things. Vital rubbed the template in his best to keep calm. Getting too angry right now would not solve anything. He needed Marshall home, and he needed the rest of the pups to help, even they were the ones that caused this. Well, I hope you're happy, Sky, because Marshall decided to run away. Run away? Shouted Sky in horror. I didn't think he'd take that bad. It's Marshall. He always happy. Would he be happy if your best friends called you worthless and insulted you, breaking your spirit? Answered Ryder. Sky lowered her head in shame and began to cry. What have we done, Marshall? She shook her head. We have to get him back, Ryder. He's part of our team. And we're going to bring him back, Sky. Ryder pressed his button to all the Paw Patrollers. Sky just sat there, praying that Marshall was alright, and that I could fix a mistake. Oh, Marshall, I'm so sorry. How could we have said those things? Paw Patrol, look out now! The rest of the pups knew something was wrong, but the tone of Ryder's voice and the uncertainty behind it, none of the others decided to the usually call out and watched us quickly to the elevator. On the way, Bubba looked around and asked, "Hey, where's Marshall?" "He's not here," answered Chase as they entered the doors. Even his truck is gone. Oh, nothing happened to him. Full watched the elevator and waited. This is weird, said Zimmer, looking around. Will's all still standing. Usually when Marshall's here, we're all on our backs. Yeah, without him, it just seems empty, second Rocky. The others just nodded in agreement as the elevator started to move. Getting to their uniforms, they jogged up in the line next to the Jordan Sky as Chase stood in attention. Paw Patrol waiting for action. Super Spy Chase voice died down as he and the other pups were met with an angry Ryder. Gulping, Chase finished. Ryder, sir? Ryder with his arms crossed stayed silent for a bit before the chicken said, "Pups, I'm really disappointed in you." "What? Why?" they asked, except for Sky. "Because I have found out that you 5 insulted and bullied Marshall earlier for making a mistake," pointed out Ryder. The others winced as Rocky whispered, We're just angry." "Well, I hope you're happy, because your angry words have forced Marshall to run away." The 4 pups gasped as Sky silently cried. Chase only turned right, pressed his communicator tag. "Marshall, come in, buddy. Please." The others tried their tags as well, but they got nothing. Zimmer took his head. "Marshall wouldn't run away. He loves being in Paw Patrol. He loves us." "But we're really hard on him," muttered Wubble, doing his best not to cry. "He must think we hate him." "What have we done?" whispered Rocky. Chase, to everyone's surprise, turned around and began hitting his paws in the elevator. "Stupid! So stupid! How could I even say that to him? I'll call him an annoyance. What kind of leader am I? What kind of a friend am I?" Chase howled in anger before falling to his haunches and began to tear up. "How could I say those things?" Ryder walked up to him and held him, letting the super spy pup crying on his shoulder. As mad as he was at them, he knew that it was just hurt as he was about Marshall leaving. They all seem just emotional as Chase, after seeing the strongest of them act like they brought Sirius straight home. Wobble gulped as he wiped the tears from his face. What are we going to do? We don't know where Marshall is. What if we never see him again? Shouted Skywolf Roy. We have to find him, shouted Rocky, stepping forward. And we have to tell him how much we cared about him. And we have to say we're sorry. Why do you all, Rocky? Said Rido, getting up and grabbed his pad. We need all paws on deck for this one. Each of us is splitting the search for Marshall. Zuma, you check the beaches and water. Wobble, check the outskirts and town like Yummy's farm. Rocky and I will check the town. Chase, you and Sky check the forest in the mountain area. If any of you see getting him where Marshall is, call us. The pups didn't even bother to shout their catchphrase. The situation was serious. All they could think was about Marshall and his safety. Ryder headed the pole towards his ATV, while the pups went through the side and into the respective vehicles.